I heard the story about this Catholic school, and the nuns had planned a picnic for all the kids and set out a big table, and at the picnic on one end of the table they'd placed apples. And they put a sign up, and the sign said, "Take only one apple, God is watching." At the other end of the table it was piled high with delicious cookies. And a little boy got him a sign, and he wrote, "Eat all the delicious cookies you want, God's watching the apples." What he didn't know was Proverbs 15:3, the eyes of the Lord is in every place, beholding the evil and the good. He didn't know 2 Chronicles 16:9, for the eyes of the Lord look to and fro throughout the whole earth to show himself strong on behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. He didn't understand that according to the Bible, God sees a sparrow when it falls to the ground, according to Matthew 10:29. And if God sees a little sparrow worth not even a penny and sees it fall to the ground, God sees what you're going through. And he sees the hurt and the disappointment in your life. He sees that you got problems at home, and the home is in disagreement, and life just doesn't seem to hold much happiness, and it doesn't grant you much of a future. Don't tell me that God doesn't know. If he sees the sparrow, he's looking into your life and into your situation, and he was with Simon Peter. Now, think about this for a moment. If you're Simon Peter and you're locked up down there in that prison, guard on both sides, chains on you, you're several wards back into, and they got all these doors to get out, I suppose you'd feel like all hope was gone. I mean, John the Baptist, forerunner of Jesus, was killed. God's own son is crucified. His own half-brother James destroyed with a sword. I imagine Simon Peter thought, this is all over. There's no hope. And for a second or two, he's probably pretty concerned. And then at the very lowest point in Simon Peter's life, he found that God was watching. God saw all things. God was looking. And folk, at the very lowest point in your life, you need to know that God is looking in on that situation, and he cares. Oh, yes, he does. You say, well, I'm not sure. Yes, he does. He watches all things. Fact of the matter, when Simon Peter got out of that prison and got out of that past and moved on with life, he never got over the fact that God was looking. How do you know that? I can prove it to you. Later on, in a little book that he had written, and in 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 12, he said, the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayers. He saw that God was looking into the prison, and he realized God's ear was hearing the prayers of that little crowd down there in that prayer meeting, praying without ceasing for him. And he went on to say, and the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know why God perhaps laid this thought on my mind. But I want you to know that God is looking. You don't think he is, but he is. And God is listening. And I want you to know that God's leading. God's in charge of things. Things may turn around at your house and on your job and in your business and in your life and with your kids and with situations beyond anything you ever comprehend. If God could get Simon Peter out of that prison, get the lights on, chains fall off, soldiers drop away, door after door after door open, and then God opened an iron gate, God can open up the way for you too. When you can't see it, God is working. In Acts 12, prayer was made without ceasing. Verse 7, and behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shined in the prison, and he smote Peter on the side, raised him up, saying, arise up quickly. And his chains fell off from his hands. And the angel said unto him, gird thyself, bind on thy sandals. And so he did. And he saith unto him, cast thy garment about thee, and follow me. Now get this. God let a light shine in the prison. God let the chains fall off. And then God said, hey, get your shoes on. Get your coat on. You know what that tells me? God has a part, and you play a part. Some of us need to get our sandals on. God's already doing the miracles. God's already doing great things in our life. Some of us need to get our... In other words, some of us need to find out what it is that God wants us to do and get busy doing it, and not always talking about one day, someday I'm going to do something for God and the kingdom.